Your favorite store may be gone before the year ends. Big box retailers, grocery stores, apparel chains, home goods companies, and even some very big names like Burger King, GameStop, and Sephora are announcing mass store closings in 2023 due to a series of economic threats emerging everywhere all at once. The situation is so dire that analysts estimate that by the end of 2023, the national brick-and-mortar footprint may be reduced by up to 20%, the biggest annual decline since the onset of the U.S. retail apocalypse in 2017. We may actually surpass the number of closures seen during the pandemic, when thousands of businesses collapsed pretty much overnight. This is certainly an unprecedented crisis, and in today's video, we've decided to expose which major chains are shrinking their store bases this year so you can have the chance to visit some of these beloved retailers one last time. But before moving on, we kindly ask you to support our work with a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Without further ado, here are 20 big box retailers closing down stores right now. 1. Burger King. The popular fast food chain plans to close up to 400 restaurants before the end of 2023, Today.com reported. Last month, the CEO of Restaurant Brands International Inc., which owns Burger King, said the company is preparing to close between 300 and 400 locations. The chain's CEO, Joshua Kobza, said in a call announcing Q1 earnings results that Burger King historically closes a couple hundred Burger King restaurants each year, but economic challenges are increasing the number of closings in 2023. So far this year, several large Burger King franchisees have filed for bankruptcy, including Illinois-based Tom's King, Michigan-based EYM King, and Utah-based Meridian Restaurants Unlimited. According to a Restaurant Brands International release announcing the earnings, 124 Burger Kings have already shuttered this year, bringing the total number in the United States to fewer than 7,000. Kobza noted that the company plans to focus on working with smaller franchisees to improve the overall health of its franchise system. The closings are a clear demonstration that even the largest chains in America are facing unprecedented difficulties in the current economy. 2. Banana Republic. Just like sister apparel store chain Gap, Banana Republic is drastically reducing its brick-and-mortar footprint. The entire sector is experiencing a dramatic drop in sales in 2023 as consumers continue to cut down on discretionary purchases. Banana Republic has been facing mounting challenges since 2018, and the latest economic headwinds are further complicating its financial situation. Its parent company is now trying to save the business by reducing costs with expensive leases at shopping malls and moving its operations to online platforms. According to Yahoo, 130 locations are going to be shuttered this year, just after 55 closings occurred in 2022. 3. Stop and Shop. Northeast regional grocery chain Stop and Shop is closing stores that are missing financial expectations, Best Life reported. In New Jersey and Brooklyn, New York, where 5 locations were closed since January, local officials are scrambling to find a new supermarket tenant for the area, as there are no other grocery chains interested on the sites. The closures come amid reports of sluggish sales and worsening financial conditions throughout the years. 4. GameStop. According to GameRant.com, a massive wave of layoffs and store shutdowns is hitting U.S. GameStop in 2023. The world's largest gaming retailer has been shedding hundreds of stores over the last 2 years, and even its success during the meme stock boom hasn't changed the outlook for the company. Over 1,000 GameStop stores have already disappeared from the U.S. retail landscape, and the gaming website reported last month that the company was suspending several in-store and online services as it started to retreat from the retail business. We are sorry to inform our loyal customers that as of 22nd March 2023, we will be ceasing a number of services in our stores and on our website. These services include the sale of gift cards, trade-in and purchase of used devices and accessories, GameStop Pro loyalty services, game protection, and pre-orders of products, the retailer announced. GameStop will no longer issue gift cards, and you are encouraged to use your existing gift cards as soon as possible in stores or on our website. Fans of the chain should probably visit their local store while they can, because things are getting increasingly worse for GameStop. 5. Kroger. As it turns out, Kroger is not done closing stores in the United States. The grocery chain is getting rid of hundreds of locations that have been reporting poor performance and poor profitability in recent years. Raya, president of Kroger's Mid-Atlantic division, said in a statement that the company could not continue to operate stores that have been losing money for a sustained period of time. But according to retail analysts, a much bigger wave of shutdowns may be ahead. Kroger's merger with Albertsons means that about 500 branches will be chopped so that the companies meet legal requirements. Unfortunately, this also means that thousands of jobs are going to be lost during that process. 6. GOODWILL. Second-hand store giant GOODWILL is shuttering spaces across the country. At least 18 stores will be closed in the second quarter for economic reasons, according to Mike Keenan, president and CEO of Goodwill Industries of the Greater East Bay. All of the locations are already conducting going-out-of-business sales and offering steep discounts of up to 50%. Falling gains and rising operational costs have led the company to make the difficult decision, Keenan says. The popular non-profit thrift store chain is facing backlashes from customers due to the sudden shutdowns. In my opinion, the whole thing is ridiculous. These stores have been in their communities for decades. Now, all of a sudden, there's some economic hardship, and they're pulling out because of issues that they themselves dictated. Seems extremely hypocritical, especially for a store named GOODWILL. These are times when our communities need these resources the most. Christy Smith, who's leading an online campaign to try to save the stores, wrote in a Facebook post. 7. Fossil. This year, 75 Fossil stores will go dark in the U.S. Fossil has been through a really rough patch since the pandemic, losing over $100 million over the past few years. Seeking Alpha analysts report that the retailer is still scrambling with falling sales, rising debt, and a weak growth outlook for 2023 and beyond. Ultimately, the company plans to reduce its store count by 20% in an attempt to improve profitability. Several locations have been underperforming for years, and that's why Fossil plans to take advantage of upcoming lease expirations to start cutting expenses and focusing on restructuring its crumbling business. 8. Guess. Guess is joining the retailers that are now rethinking their store fleets as consumer trends shift significantly. The retailer said it plans to close 100 stores, or about 9% of its network, as it tries to rebalance its finances. Guess shares fell as much as 24% to $9.71 in April, extending the stock's year-to-date decline to about 52%. When excluding currency fluctuations, sales fell 50% in the company's first quarter. The recent stock performance and expected demand under our new normal model made very clear that our store portfolio could be optimized to increase profitability. Chief Executive Officer Carlos Alberini said, noting that many of the retailers' leases are set to expire soon, which will give them the perfect chance to start the shutdowns. 9. Green Zebra. The popular Portland-based grocery chain Green Zebra, known for its wide variety of healthy foods, is in the process of closing all of its stores after 10 years in business. Increased competition, supply chain issues, and soaring inflation have pushed the company over the edge in 2023. Founder and CEO Lisa Sedler said in a press release that the retailer had been holding on by a thread since the pandemic started, citing increases to our costs of goods, packaging, cost of fuel, cost of insurance, taxes, freight charges, and well, pretty much everything. Several consumers on the company's Facebook page said they were crushed by the news. The 3 stores, still open, will be gone by the end of the month. 10. Macy's. A 4th round of store closings has begun for Macy's. After shuttering 125 of its least productive stores in 2021 and 2022, another 45 locations are now on the retailer's chopping block. Previously, Macy's announced that it would slash 1/5 of stores and lay off 2,000 employees to allegedly improve productivity. Last month, CEO Jeff Gennette explained in a statement that the decision came after the company analyzed its sales growth outlook and revenue forecasts for 2023. Based on current macroeconomic indicators and our proprietary credit card data, we believe the consumer will continue to be pressured in 2023, particularly in the first half, and we have planned to adjust accordingly, he said. 11. McDonald's. McDonald's is closing 10 field offices, laying off hundreds of corporate employees, and shutting down over 100 stores in 2023. This may be sad news for many customers, but the popular American fast food chain is trying to position itself for the recession that's now unfolding. On top of that, a new California legislation led McDonald's USA President Joe Erlinger to warn about the possible closure of 1,000 locations in 2023. The FAST bill, or the Fast Food Accountability and Standards Recovery Act, was passed in the fall of 2022 and could require fast food restaurants to pay workers a minimum wage of $22 per hour, with an annual raise of 3.5%. This has been met with strong resistance from the fast food industry, including McDonald's. In an open letter Erlinger wrote on January 25, 2023, the executive argued that the FAST Act makes it all but impossible to run small business restaurants. He further explained that the bill would put essential business decisions in the hands of an unelected council of political insiders rather than local business owners and their teams. This, in turn, could fracture the economy. Moreover, Erlinger warned that paying fast food workers such a wage could increase the cost of eating at McDonald's by up to 20%, which would be unaffordable for many customers. As a result, continuing to do business in California, where the chain operated 1,000 locations, would be impossible. 12. Urban Outfitters. It seems that Urban Outfitters lost the trend setting it used to hold on consumers before the pandemic. With many indie brands emerging online, its pricier product range isn't attracting cash-strapped shoppers this year. In January, retail industry giant Urban, owner of Urban Outfitters, announced that its retail net sales were down by 8% due to a drop in foot traffic, after predicting a 60% sales drop owing to nose-diving demands. With continuously declining performances, Urban Outfitters is now a shadow of its former self. Although the company hasn't disclosed a specific number of closings, the Sun analysts estimate that about 70 stores will be gone by the end of the third quarter. 13. Target. Target is now conducting a series of store closings, citing declining foot traffic, rising shoplifting cases, and collapsing profits as the reason for the decision, according to a recent report. The first round of shutdowns will hit dozens of grocery stores in Maryland, as well as Virginia, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania. Executives have said that the locations haven't been able to improve performance over the past 12 months. The retailers' worsening financial woes are behind the tough decision. 14. Office Depot. A total of 263 Office Depot stores have already disappeared from the U.S. This year, at least another 80 locations are saying their final goodbyes. In a statement on its website, The retailer said the current economic headwinds are prompting it to continue working on optimizing its retail footprint. The company has been suffering since 2018 as e-commerce retailers began taking a larger share of the office supply segment. Some experts argue that Office Depot stores are getting outdated and consumers need more attractive changes to come back to visit its physical locations. 15. Foot Locker. In March, Foot Locker revealed plans to close as many as 420 stores in shopping malls as a part of a strategy meant to reset the company, Insider reported. On top of that, 125 Champs Sports stores operated by the company will also be shuttered as foot traffic and revenue growth disappoint for yet another quarter. 16. Bath & Body Works. Best Life reports that Bath & Body Works is considering closing all of its shopping mall stores. In May, 50 of them will go dark as the company looks out to cut costs. Earlier this year, executives said the retailer must save $250 million by January 2024 in order to strengthen its overall position as a home and personal care retailer amid the ongoing retail apocalypse. 17. JCPENNEY. The 121-year-old retailer has faced massive challenges in recent years and filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2020, closing 200 stores after the pandemic. As of March 6, 2023, the retailer still had 669 stores in the U.S. However, now it's closing additional stores in Indiana, New York, and Minnesota, and California. The move comes as JCPenney grapples with rising costs related to supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, inflationary pressures, and rent obligations. The company said that these challenges have impacted its margins and cash flow, which pushed it to shrink its store count this year. 18. Sephora. The cosmetics giant recently announced that all of its 300 stores inside JCPenney and about 175 inside Kohl's will be permanently shuttered this year. The demise of the latter companies is also impacting Sephora's bottom line, and a grim growth outlook for the year is forcing the makeup retailer to make some difficult decisions. 19. The REALREAL. The REALREAL is slashing its workforce and store base in a quest for profits, according to Retail Dive. The luxury apparel resale company will let go of about 230 employees, or 7% of its workforce, according to a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's also shuttering dozens of stores and 2 consignment offices across the U.S. to cut approximately $2 million in costs. The REALREAL has long struggled with profitability, and its year-to-date $151.2 million loss is only a slight improvement over last year, according to emailed comments from Global Data Managing Director Neil Saunders. To make things worse, the retailer is now on a bankruptcy watch list as its financial health deteriorates. 20. Sprouts Farmers Market. Earlier this year, Phoenix-based Sprouts Farmers Market announced plans to close locations that are, quote, underperforming financially, unquote, according to a press release. Company officials said the closures would mostly impact larger format Sprouts stores as the chain transitions to smaller, more productive models. The company indicated that stores on the chopping block were located in Texas, California, Georgia, Florida, and Washington, but did not provide specifics. Local news reports identified 2 impacted locations in West Hollywood, California, and Wellington, Florida, that were just shuttered on April 30th. With so many big names seeing operations crumble in such a short period of time, we can certainly comprehend why retail experts call this crisis an apocalypse. Our economic scenario is being ravaged by so many losses. Consumers in U.S. communities are losing stores that have served them for years and will definitely be missed. Struggling stores don't stand a chance in this unforgiving environment, and it is safe to say that many other chains will follow the same move in the coming months. Thank you for watching.